Hello YouTube, and welcome to episode 1 in the Kubikiri Cycle reaction series. So I guess before anything else I should introduce myself for those that are potentially new. Hello, hi, I react to anime. Please don't take it too seriously. But yeah, I'd like to have a good chat about the episode after I finish reacting to said episode, so look forward to that. There'll be lots of theories, lots of talking about why the episode works and that kind of thing. I aim to make my second portion of the video where I talk about the episode just about as long as the episode itself. So if you're a big fan of Kubikiri Cycle and Zaregoto, I think is the name of the overall series, then maybe stick around for the second half and have a little bit of a chat. That's where we get into the meat of what we're doing here. On top of that as well, I read YouTube comments at the start of the next video, if that makes any sense. So the comments from the last video onto the next one. So if you have anything to say, anything that's informative, trivia, small corrections, that kind of thing, please comment and I will read it on the show. Either way, I guess I should say, why am I reacting to Kubikiri Cycle? It won the poll. It won the poll that I've had up for about half a week now. It was one vote shy of Review Starlight, which will be started after this show. Kind of doing those two in order, in a way. And yeah, this is the poll winner. I do not know much about this at all. I'll talk about what I know a little bit later on, but now I'm going to do the thing that I normally do when I start a new show, and that's to have a look at notable staff on the staff list and have a look at the key visual. Those are the only two pieces of information I want to know going into the first episode here. So no looking at kind of synopsis stuff, no looking at character names or voice actors or anything like that. That can be known at a later date. We're just going to go in and see what we think. Alright, so I've done my research on the notable staff this morning, and there's quite a bit here actually. So let's get cracking. The chief director of the series. Now I have some questions about this role, but it is Akiyuki Simbo. May also be Shinbo, Simbo. I've got Simbo off ANN, but I'm pretty sure it's Shinbo. Anyway, I'm not Japanese, I'm bad at this. Anyway, I have a question about this role. Is it more overview and that kind of thing? Because it seems like he is this role in a whole lot of Shaft stuff. So I'm looking at Sayonara Zetsubo Sensei, I'm looking at Nisekoi, I'm looking at Sangetsu no Lion, I'm looking at Hidamari Sketch, I'm looking at Madoka. He has a similar role on all of these shows. That is a shit ton of work if he is doing actually like hands on the ground directing this shit, doing all the stuff a director would do for all of these shows. So I'm imagining he's just missed a Shaft and just kind of, you know, overview some stuff. That's what I would think anyway. Either way, if he has literally helped on direction of all of these shows, he is a master, and I should look forward to this a lot, because all those things from Shaft that I listed are very, very, very good. Outside of Shaft, I have little to no clue. I read through the ANN and I couldn't see anything that jumped off the page other than bit roles on some other famous shows, I guess, from way back in the day. This is where we get to a little bit more of the meat and bones. We have Yuki Yase, who's the director of this show. Again, a ton of work with Studio Shaft. I should mention that Studio Shaft is making Kubikiri Cycle, the show that I'm watching, so this is why it's relevant. So one thing I wanted to note that is really relevant to me right here, right now, in this moment, is that he did some episodes of Monogatari's second season and some episodes late into the season as well. So he's potentially responsible for a ton of shit that I've seen recently, and the second half of Monogatari's second season is really damn good. So that's a good sign. I really like that. Also, just going into specific episodes again, because I found this really interesting as well, he is only credited with 2 episodes on Madoka, and I would regard them as 2 of the best, 2 of the most popular anyway. So spoilers for Madoka, but episode 3, that's when shit hits the fan. That's a good episode. Really, really well done. And episode 10, which is widely regarded as one of the best anime episodes of the decade, I believe. Episode 10 of Madoka, fucking really good. So that's another good sign. Hey, we got a director on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. But outside of those, okay, some more recent stuff, I guess. We have Mecha Kusidi Actors, which I don't know anything about. He's directed, so I think it's by Shaft again, if I had to guess, but sure. Fire Force. Fire Force is from David Production, so he's outside of the Shaft bubble there a little bit, kind of. And again, there's some history there. Fire Force itself, I watched like 2 episodes and it seemed fine. It seemed pretty good, and I just didn't really continue it. The animation was really good though, so shoutouts to that. And a new show coming out called Undead Unluck, which is, again, apparently out very, very soon. So again, director, been around the block, you know, Has some good credits under his name, maybe some stinkers as well. We'll say. Alright, original creator, Nisio Isin. So this is your third Monogatari connection here, and probably the most strong. Like, Nisio Isin wrote all of Monogatari. He's also done work on other stuff such as Pretty Boy Detective Club and Medaka Box and a manga called Cypher Academy he did the story for. So there's a ton of stuff there. How would I describe Nisio Isin? Well, he likes to write in a very smart, sometimes obnoxious, but very genre-aware way, I would say. He has a knack for constructing mysteries, which we'll get to later, and telling stories in unconventional ways, from timeline to story POV to a bunch of other things. He is very, very, very aware of what he's doing at every moment and creates stories from not subverting expectation, but understanding what the expectation is and then maybe pulling the rug out. Like, you know what I mean? It's not subversion for the sake of subversion. It's just something you didn't see before you saw it. Let's move on to the script. The script is by Yukito Kazawa. He's done a ton of script stuff on Monogatari, plus Pretty Boy Detective Club, plus Three Gatsu, plus Nisekoi, plus a ton of other Shaft stuff. So again, worked a ton with Studio Shaft. Outside of Studio Shaft, well, he's done some writing for Sword Art Online, which is interesting, and Recreators, which I wasn't really a fan of either. So we'll say, again, it's a little bit of a mixed bag there. I'm thinking maybe with Recreators in particular, that's an original show, so that's a different writing job to adaptation. I think Sword Art Online's a light novel as well, so that's an adaptation as well. So again, it's hard to say, but seemingly good source material, good writing. Again, scripting based off of source material is very different. I want to emphasize that. The music of the show, the music of Kubikiri Cycle, is by Yuki Kajiura? Kajiura? We're going to say Kajiura. Again, a metric shit ton of stuff, so I'll just list the stuff that I've seen or like and that kind of thing. So Fate Zero, very, very good music in Fate Zero. Probably my favorite piece of Fate stuff. Yeah, I really like Fate Zero. It's good. Music for Madoka, which is an absolute W. What a soundtrack. It's really, really good. And even the Demon Slayer soundtrack. So obviously working a little bit with Shaft, a little bit with Ufotable there. Demon Slayer soundtrack's good. Don't know about the rest of the show. That's another story. But the music's really, really good. So shout-outs to that. He seemingly does a lot of work on OP/ED on a ton of different shows. So again, well-versed, should know how to make an anime soundtrack, should know how to soundtrack something that is currently on screen. You know what I mean? Like, he's not new to this. That's what I'm trying to emphasize. And last piece of the staff here, tell me if I've missed anybody super important out of what I'm saying, but art director, Ken Naito. I'm going to say Naito. Loads of Shaft stuff, but funnily enough has also worked on Kino's Journey and Kokoro Connect that were also part of the poll that I just put up, so that's kind of interesting. I thought that was a good bit of trivia. Yeah, an eclectic career, we'll say. He also worked on Tesla Note. I don't know if anybody knows what Tesla Note is, but it does not look very good at all, so... I watched like 5 episodes of that and it was excruciating. So anyway, moving on. The key visual. How should I format this? I guess I'll get it up for myself and then put it up here for you guys. Let me do that. Okay, so this is the key visual that I've been using a lot for like the poll video and everything else, right? I don't know if this is the best one to tell what's actually going on here, but sure, we're going to go with it. I say that because there's not much to go with on it. You know what I mean? There's a girl and there's a boy. They have interesting character designs. I like her hair a lot. Yeah, there's something Monogatari-esque about the eyes as well that I like. I wonder if there's similar character designers there. Kind of this blue and orange aesthetic. I wonder if we'll get color-coded characters, something that wrote, I wonder. There's seemingly flower petals going on. They looked like water drops, but she is holding a flower, so that's an indicator there. Also, you can kind of see a flower right there coming out of the right side of the image. Yeah, color scheme-wise, we've got the blues versus the orange. You can even see it in the title there. It's kind of futuristic-ish in the text. It looks like yeah, it doesn't look like it's a historical show anyway. It's either current day and we've got a little bit of a technology twist, or it's future, and we're doing future stuff. Talking more to the female character's design, I like the kind of this part of the outfit here, kind of on the chest there, kind of blows up out of the waist, which I find interesting. Cool sleeves. Again, she's holding a flower. Not much to go off. The guy in the back seems kind of generic. He seems like our main character, maybe. These obviously probably the main two characters. But I've heard it's an ensemble show, so maybe there's more characters than this. You would think so, right? For 8 episodes, you'd think there's more than 2 characters. Either way, we'll see. So not really too much to grasp from that at all, but hey, we did it. It's fine. Okay, so let's move on to some predictions, I guess. This show's apparently a mystery. And I've heard it's potentially even maybe a whodunit, so there will be a killing, and then we've got to figure out who of the cast it maybe is. I am a whodunit fan, but this is completely something that I may have read like a few months ago. It could be completely wrong. I have been wrong before. I guess we've got the Nisio Asin angle to all of it. How is this going to be a little bit meta, a little bit clever? Maybe there's some interesting point of view stuff. You know, blah, 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 blah. How is this going to be directed? Shaft have an interesting style for Monogatari. I wonder if they're going to take elements of that and use them here. You know, lots of focus on the eyes, lots of cutaways, lots of fourth wall anime stuff where we'll say, this is the frame here that's in between all these frames, right? This is the cut. Is there going to be text on screen, like a ton of text on screen, like Monogatari? Like, there's lots of different stuff we could do here. Again, I'm only saying it because we've got a lot of the same stuff here. But again, we didn't do that with Pretty Boy Detective Club by Shaft either. That adaptation, we didn't do much of the Monogatari-esque stuff. Maybe the eyes. That's eyes in Pretty Boy Detective Club. And we didn't do that on any of the other Shaft stuff that I've seen, say a Madoka or a Three Gatsu no Line, even though they're not Nisio Isin based. So yeah, we'll see. I guess this is my last opportunity to ask for subs / versions / that kind of stuff. I've just kind of downloaded the first one I saw that didn't have everybody completely and totally hating on it. I think it's from 2021, which is a while ago now. Surprisingly, time moves fast. But I digress. There's a lot of stuff about people not liking the translation, which has come through in Monogatari even, right? Which is way more popular than this. And there's a lot of different versions of Monogatari subs and a lot of opinions there that I've seen. Again, Nisio Asin and adaptation, that's a hard one, especially for an English audience. So there's been some complaints about these subs already that I've seen, but I don't think there's going to be a good answer. I think the best answer for me to get the best out of the source material would be to go and read the source material. But that's not what we're doing today. We react to anime on the channel, damn it. We're not reading a damn book. We're not damn savages. We couldn't read a book, damn it. Either way, moving on to the show now. Just going to do my shill stuff quickly. If you like the video, consider liking the video. If you like the video and you want to see more, consider subscribing to the channel. Comment below anything you thought about the episode, anything I can do to improve my presentation, comment below. I'm doing follow for follow on Twitter, so follow me on Twitter if you'd like me to follow you back. And the Discord, join the Discord, love the Discord, vote on polls on the Discord, discuss the show on the Discord in both a spoiler and non-spoiler format. So look forward to all of that stuff there. And yeah, jumping into episode 1 of the Kubikiri Cycle right now. Alright, so I went and had some lunch, and then went and downloaded the episode, and it took way longer than I thought it would. But anyway, I'm back. Something I forgot to mention. It has a subtitle, so it's Kubikiri Cycle, Aorio Savant to Zaragoto Zukai. Okay. Well, I know what savant means. It's like an idiot genius. Or like a genius. So one of the two. Like, there's normally some drawback to the genius, though. You normally pair idiot with savant. You would call them an idiot savant, right? Anyway, I digress. So there's some kind of genius at foot. Also, I don't know what Aoiro is. Aoiro? I can't quite say it. I'm really struggling there. But I digress. That's not really the point of the video. I have the video up here. Let me pop it up on screen. 27 minutes and 9 seconds. So something I also forgot to mention. It's not a TV anime, it's an OVA. So this doesn't have to follow the TV format of around your 23, 24 minute episodes generally with an OPED ad break. It can just go right through. So we'll see what happens there. Either way, I think the subs are called like Buddy Waters or something. Anyway, like apparently the subs aren't great across the board, so we'll see. Oh yeah, one more thing. Picture-in-picture in the description below for those that want it. If not, sync up accordingly. Either way, just gonna give it a 3, 2, 1. Radio? 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. Blue. Blue sparklies. Is the girl gonna pop out? She was blue. Water. Elden Ring. Having one talent too many is more dangerous than having one talent too few. By Nietzsche. Oh, this is very Monogatari already. Okay. Yes. CG jellyfish. Okay. No eyes. Okay. Ooh. Okay, lots of trampling. Like almost like a class divide thing going on. Okay. Okay. Interesting. There's no in between. A binary choice there. It's unclear. Where are we? Is my next question. That's cool. Okay. Zaregoto? Who is her? Is her the person you're talking to? The beheading cycle. That's what Kubikiri means. Ooh, this is Madoka vibes in the music. Okay, I won't. I'm not gonna sit right here and watch it for the next 25 minutes. Alright. A little bit of an intro there, kind of similar to your Monogatari in a way. Where it's just like kind of talking concepts that are going to be relevant later. Cool. Keep it in the back pocket of my mind. Our show looks pretty good so far. Like the CG there isn't overly intrusive. It's got this cinematic quality to it. Akagami Mansion. Is this the island that we were talking about? Ooh. Interesting. First floor storeroom. Okay. Maid? Oh, is this an opening? Seems like it. Okay. Yes. Hello, maid character. Maybe not. Maybe this is like a you get unique openings like a Mushoku Tensei maybe. That's a really good shot. The flowers. Hmm. Yeah, this is definitely Shaft. Okay. I should have looked when this came out as well. Because the movement through the 3D places here is pretty good. The music's been a standout too. I love the music in the opening scene. Why is he just hoodie boy and she's in like maid stuff? And the girl on the poster is seemingly a bit more dressed as well. Is that just like the anime thing, like the everyman thing? Okay, interesting. Hello, girl from the poster. What vibe is Nisio-san gonna take here? Kunagisa Tomo, genius engineer. So is everybody a genius? And on a different floor, maybe. Yeah. Sanku. Okay, Tomo. Did you just go to bed? Is she me? I never sleep either. Oh. She woke up. What do you mean? It's not dark, though. Oh, I see. So it's just overcast. Oh no, it's like a morning thing. Weird. Nisio Sin? Okay. Okay. Sure. You're a little bit detached and world weary, I would say. I think there's some implication that he's been through this before. Is she saying Ni-chan or I-chan? It's unclear. Because if this is a brother-sister thing, that would make sense. Well, yeah, you wash yourself. That's how it works. Then you should wash your hair. No, you should wash your hair first. Canonically stinks. I thought that's a genocide. I'm like, ayo. For a flare-up. Okay, don't tell me twice. I just had some pumpkin soup. It was quite good. Alright, 2 new characters? Question mark? Yeah, a couple maids. Handa Rei. Eldest triplet maid. Chiga, was it? What, to the mansion? Yeah. Okay. Okay. I might need to keep notes here. Exiled. Okay, Rich Person Island. Geniuses, right? Yeah. Like they kind of said all the geniuses before. Got distracted there for a second. Hello, Maki. Okay. It's a very interesting shot again. So you're just a +1 to her. Oh, hello. Indeed. She's also in a wheelchair, is she? No set style. Okay. So you're like kind of similar. You're both assistants. Interesting. What, be a like a model for one of her paintings or something? How quick does she paint? Does she paint? Does she draw? Oh, hello. Okay, not here. Okay. There you go. An occurrence is happening in the plot? Because they're seemingly tangentially introducing everybody very quickly. Seven Fools. Hello. Yeah, the maids, right? Yeah, okay, we've seen all three now. What are you doing? Is that like a move in something? Whoa. Interesting. The vibes here are really good. Okay, you're playing a game of some kind. Didn't sound like chess, but maybe it was. Maybe like an Othello? Shogi, there you go. Yeah, she was playing against herself, was she? You seem like you're a bit, mad. Okay? Yes. Lots of smart people, lots of geniuses. Indeed. Okay. Yeah, so she's pretty switched on, to say the least. Yes, Kunagisa. Tomo. Oh, okay. She didn't do her tech stuff. She was the genius engineer. Yeah. I kind of am. She doesn't seem like she's super switched on with everything else. Like, wakes up late, does all that stuff, you know? Yeah, a few Monogatari-isms coming through in the editing style for sure. But we cut to a wide very often. Elaborate? I like the red in your hair, young lady. Yeah. So you're still pretty switched on, is the point, yeah. I got sabbatical from that. Yeah, clearly you know some stuff, you're just not the super duper genius. I mean, you got pretty far. But it's easy to say that when you're already in. Like, you achieved it. Okay. Okay, so probably not related. Yeah, no. Excuse me, what? What did she do? Okay. Yeah, I don't think anybody here lives a normal life. Savant syndrome. Yeah. French for learned. I didn't know that. He should. Oh, blindfolded, like, just in your own head. You were gonna get your picture done. Yeah. Ooh. Such a base occupation. Don't really like the... No, I don't like the arts, I don't think. Yeah. Yeah, are you a Redditor? She's kind of... I like her. I like her a lot. Alright, bye. I like your pants, too. Interesting one. Okay. Oh, character. Explain yourself. Like the hair. Himenamaki. Well, I'm guessing the other girl doesn't really respect you very much either. More like a cult leader. Alright. Does she know everything? Well, this shot's cool too. Oh. Okay, you've got a bit of an ego on you. That's cool. I think they all do. Dual? Yeah, okay. Oh. Seemingly are speaking in riddles. Yeah, a lot of shaky cam with whoever this is. Thank you, Monkey-san. She is kind of creepy. Oh, she got you. Interesting. Hello. Okay. There was a chef. I remember there's a chef. Okay. The Wet Wing Raven Island. Hmm. She would be able to, but is it a clue? Is this after or before? Feels like before to me. Just figuring it out. Yeah. Give the artist time. Oh. Interesting. Cool. After sitting by the tree for a while. Okay. Only idiots, huh? I think it's more likely the latter. Looks okay. Could use some color, but it's a sketch, I guess. The camera is pretty crazy on the wides. Something I've noticed consistently. That was very Monogatari. That is true, by the way. But I wouldn't trust this guy's judgment. He's a layman. Oh, okay. It's a lot of money. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. You want it to be loved by everybody. Or at least understood by everybody. Alright, she's very. Yep, okay. She does. She hates art. ER3. But. Yeah, there's a but. Oh, okay. Kind of the opposite. Interesting. What is that on your head? Is that a headphone? Okay. Climb into bed with her, it'll be funny. That's not quite correct. It's 52 o'clock. Okay. Interesting font choice on the subbing there. I feel like I know this artist. We'll have to wait till the credit comes in. Is that the actual ending though? Yeah, it is. That episode kind of flew by, I'm gonna be honest. I still don't really feel like we got started though. Just kind of introducing people. I guess I'll need to watch that first scene again and see what I can grasp. Yeah, Calafina, she's Madoka, right? Yeah, this is giving me Madoka a lot in the ED. That first Madoka ED is one of the best of all time. It's really good. Well, not the first one, you know the one I'm talking about, the good one. And of course, I'll read these lyrics in due time as well, even if not like widely applicable to the text. We'll say. Hello, blue girl. Tomo. Kunigisa Tomo. Radio jumping into a little bit of analysis on the first episode of Kubikiri Cycle. So that was the first episode of Kubikiri Cycle, and I guess I'll just bring up this before I do anything else. So, based on that first episode and what I'm going to kind of remember over a week, I think something like this is worthwhile. So these are going to be my notes. I will make them as I'm doing the analysis portion, then we'll review at the end. That way I can get names, what they do, what they look like, that kind of thing, just as a little bit of a, reminder for when I come back to the show. And then overall themes, we'll discuss some stuff here. So far, seemingly theming towards a geniuses versus a haves versus have-nots type situation, how different people consider genius. There hasn't really been the inciting incident yet, I don't think. Again, I could be wrong here. I've been told that it's a whodunit. And this is a great setup for a whodunit, and that's where I get to my next question, right? Or my next, I guess, observation. Danganronpa, huh? This is very similar. I guess a lot of shows do the whole where geniuses from different fields and we're all coming together to do thing. But spoilers for Danganronpa, it's also a bit of a whodunit. So we'll see if that comes to fruition. Again, this is a random memory that somebody told me from like months ago. I could just be completely wrong, but I was waiting for the shoe to drop there. I was waiting for somebody to walk into a room and it's like, oh no, they're dead. Like that kind of vibe. Again, we will see. Again, I'm not expecting it. I'm not waiting with bated breath for somebody to die, but just the way they're setting up all these characters, there does need to be something that occurs, especially when we're building motivations like, I hate this person, I hate what this person does, this other person's a fortune teller that seemingly knows everything, there's a chef, he has knives, question mark. They said a lot of girls so far. Either way, yeah, the episode overall, good, but I'm not really sure I can pass judgment yet. Nothing's really happened. The only things I can pass judgment on so far are the production, which I think is surprisingly good. I didn't expect it to be a highlight, but it is. I like the way it's shot. I like the way it's edited a lot. Definitely the cuts to the wides with different camera techniques have been a highlight, as well as the use of, a lot of pretty good CGI. On top of that, the art's always top notch. It's Shaft. They're always really good at that. And yeah, good aesthetically. Music as well. Forgot to mention the music. The music is a standout for sure as well. And yeah, the characters so far, I definitely like Red in the Hair Lady. I'm gonna get character names here in a sec. The fortune teller character was a little bit creepy, and the artist definitely has kind of that Kudere thing going on. Not really revealing everything yet. But we'll see. Seemingly bubbly lolly was the vibe for for Kunigisa Tomo. I think her name is Kunigisa Tomo, which wasn't the vibe I got from the poster at all. I thought she would be a little bit more aloof. Again, the main character, a little bit generic so far, but we're going to give him a chance, you know? I've liked loads of shows that have generic male characters and really, really great female characters, so again, we'll see. But yeah, the pieces are in place for this to be quite good, so excited from that perspective, and yeah, again, if you're new here, now I'm just going to go through the episode again, see what I can see, write some notes on my little notepad over here, and yeah, see what's crack-a-lackin', I guess. Alright, so this part in the start here, this is giving me like rebirth, it's giving me like rewind, it's giving me like heaven kind of vibes, right? We're kind of underwater at the moment, there's going to be a weird edit, and then we'll end up kind of in like the chess verse, I guess we'll call it. But yeah, water is a theme as well, you're on an island surrounded by water. Interesting. Okay. And then we start with this quote from Nietzsche, I think you say it as. I'm not down on my philosophy very much, so this may be going over my head, but having one talent too many is more dangerous than having one talent too few. Okay, let's break this down a little bit. As you can see, I've got my pen here. I could circle things, so we're going to talk about this part. Having one talent too many. Like a genius, maybe. It's more dangerous, maybe like a killing, than having one talent too few. Now, I agree with this, right? It makes you a target, right? But then the counter argument is that, well, you would be easy to kill if you didn't have a lot of talent. You'd be talentless. You'd be easy to dispose of. But I think it's more relevant that it makes you a target of having too much talent, right? And people may get jealous of that as well. That's another element that we've seen so far. Again, one to watch. Obviously, you know, introductory quote kind of will make more sense as the piece of fiction goes on, for sure. So that was like a stream of water, then we had red and blue on either side, kind of interlinking, and then we get to here. Okay. So, what do I see? I see a chessboard, or I see... This is almost like the start of Madoka, actually. It's giving me, you know, like the very opening scenes? Like a lot of that in it. And a lot of things in the scene have kind of this water pattern on it as well. You could kind of see it in the tree there, as well as on her herself. We start with, like, essentially another quote here. There's something frightening about anyone who can consciously, intentionally trample others underfoot. There is, yes. Somebody that can, like, kill somebody, essentially, and, like, not feel... not accidentally, like, with intent, kill somebody, you know? And she is she's mummy, okay. She's got the stockings and the heels as well, okay. And she, to my knowledge, isn't in the show. She is an element of this dream sequence we're in right now, I think. Hence the, you know, where they're sitting, the editing style, blah, 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 blah. The music, all very dream sequency. Yeah, the jellyfish in essentially space, yeah. Wait, this isn't real. This is in his head or something. And it starts with a disagreement. This is where I get a lot of Monogatari. A lot of Monogatari will start with a conversation between two people or an introduction of an idea, right, that'll become relevant later on. And what they're trying to get at out of the idea will become relevant later on as the story unfolds. So again, I'm far more frightened of those who unconsciously do it. There's a disagreement here. It's giving me... Okay, so this is going to be impenetrable for those who haven't seen Monogatari, but there's a lot of Monogatari about real fake, a lot about traffic lights, green, red. There's a lot of, like, contradictions and that kind of thing. And I feel similar vibes off of this. Cool, so people who trample consciously versus unconsciously, and then kill with intent versus accidental death. That's what I'm kind of implying from that. Okay, this is interesting. The definition of unintentionally here is a little bit stranger. That's not really what I thought, but sure. Those who trample others in the name of what's right and what's just, kind of as a means to an end, will trample somebody. As opposed to killing somebody out of malice? Is that what we're getting at? It's a fundamental difference in how we live. From those that need to trample on others to those that don't even rate a trampling. Yeah, seemingly a lot of discussion around intent as an idea. Okay. And then this part here, the artist with no style, and I think we go through a lot of the geniuses that are here on the island. The artist with no style, the academic with nothing else to achieve, the cook who had mastered all flavors, the fortune teller who had divined too much, if I can speak. Yeah, the women on that island were the other side of that divide. The other side of the divide between the intent, the trampling, the genius versus the... Okay, there's a lot of ideas here, right? Because each and every one of those characters had a contradiction as well. Okay, cool. Then I've got this little bit here, kind of talking about those ideas I just talked about. Okay, cool. Here's yet another contradiction, because we're not stopping. Live mindful of how little you matter, or live mindful of how little the world matters. Just those two. So, how little you matter means the world matters a ton. You think of yourself as an insignificant, like, kind of ant that is just one part of the whole entire world, and you may get freaked out by how little you actually matter. You know, I'm probably leaning that side. That's like me, right? Or live mindful of how little the world matters. Then that's a lot of ego, right? That's a consideration of yourself above everybody else and the rest of the world as the rest of the population, and how much they don't matter to you because you're very ego based, very internal based, which seems like a lot of the way the characters are in the show, the geniuses anyway. And of course, this is going to go into our character here, which I've forgotten the name of, which is nice considering he's the main character, but I digress. It's because he tried to get into, was it ER3, the kind of fancy place, and he did get in for a time, but then he was kind of, dropped out on a sabbatical, blah blah blah, didn't achieve what he wanted to achieve. So this is how clear the separation is from this character to the rest of the characters in the show. That's a lot of what we're going to get into. Again, speaking about something like Danganronpa, the main character in the first Danganronpa game is the ultimate lucky student. He just gets in based on a lucky draw, essentially, right? And a lot of the game is him coming to terms with not being as special as everybody else. Interesting. Okay, we'll see how this manifests going forward. Allow the world to rob you of your value, or destroy the world and make it yours. Same kind of idea I was talking about before. This is emblematic of some of the shots we're doing a lot. So it's a very wide shot with a lot of CG. Kind of gives a lot of mood, gives a lot of location to where we are, right? I will say the location right now, the floors are giving me Madoka, and this tree is giving me Monogatari. So definitely the Shaft influence there for sure. And again, we're continually looking at water as an idea here as well. Her head kind of above water, but also not, like below water as well at the same time. This is an interesting line for me. This to me implies some almost Groundhog Day stuff, right? But I'd already been through the events on that island. I had been by the side of the blue savant, who was the girl, Kunigisa Tomo, I believe. I had spoken to the person in front of me, so I knew better than to consider the answer. It was all just nonsense. Who is this person he's talking to? I don't think she's in the rest of the show so far. We'll see. This is the shot I wanted to talk about, right? This, more than anything else, says contradiction to me, right? White tree that looks relatively normal, kind of mirroring maybe the cherry blossom tree from later in the episode, versus whatever the fuck is behind him. And again, they're on the space chessboard that it's continually filling up now that I'm looking at it. Okay, all right. Yeah, and when the kind of water reaches over and starts to overflow, that's when the scene ends. But we're considering this character we're talking to a lot. We're going to keep an eye on her. I haven't seen her in the rest of the show to my knowledge. Alright, now this is interesting too. The beheading cycle, which is clearly what Kubikiri means, if I'm incorrect there. I would be imagining that's what that means. The blue savant and the master of nonsense. I'm imagining that's what the subtitle that I read on the file said as well. Okay, that would make sense. Nonsense is seemingly Zaragoto. That is seemingly what nonsense means, maybe? Again, I'm guessing. And then this subtitle is what I'm really interested in, right? Day 3, 1. So one's the episode, The Savant Gathering. Day 3. Why are we starting at day 3? Are we going to do some Nisio Sin kind of non-chronological storytelling? Interesting. We'll watch for different days. I'm going to write that down as well. So the music at the very opening scene, it was very start of a video game, almost character creation-y-esque, I thought. And then the music going in here to the sweeping shots showing off the island, right? This is giving me Madoka a lot. So yeah, again, I'm going to keep saying it, a lot of Shaft influence here. Then the line on screen, don't be in such a hurry, sit down, relax, enjoy yourself. Who is this a message to? Is this a message to me? Is it a message to the main character? It's unclear. And the island we're at is Wet Wing Raven Island. Wet Wing Raven Island. Say that 3 times really fast. I like the fog surrounding the island. Gives it some isolation, which is pretty cool. The shape of the island is definitely interesting as well. It's giving me Bermuda Triangle, kind of. Okay, it's almost like an atoll, something like that. Is that the raven we're talking about? Kind of the bird of the island as well. And we see the mansion over here, surrounded by wind energy, which is cool too. And in the middle of it, we've got like this almost Harry Potter time turner situation going on. We are in Akagami Mansion. Okay, and we'll find out more about Akagami here in a second. Alright, first let's look at our main character's room, my room. The warped camera angle here is very, very interesting, especially paired with what it looks like outside of the room, which is all very uniform. He lives in like an optical illusion place. Okay. So I keep trying to look for the main character's name, and I'm really struggling because he keeps calling himself me, the narrator. And from the look of this, it doesn't seem like we're going to have a traditional opening. We'll merely have this piece of music, I feel, with the credits put over the top of it, with whatever relevant scene taking place in the episode kind of before it. Again, I don't know if you guys have seen Mushoku Tensei. It's kind of similar to that. I do like the maid character. I 2 thumbs up. Like the hair on her a lot. A lot. I wonder if it's a similar character designer between this and Monogatari, because I saw some very similar characters a little bit later on in the episode. So he starts the day stretching as well. He kind of told himself to get up as well as he got out of bed. I don't really know what this is trying to say beyond just recounting what happened. I did think the big tracking shot on her was quite pretty. Yeah, overall, just this sequence is quite pretty, I would say. Yeah, the stained glass here, and we delve into a little bit of the 3D kind of space CG stuff a little bit later on too. Yeah, here. Which I think looks pretty damn good. It's easy to keep saying it reminds me of Monogatari, but a lot of the symmetry, a lot of the repeated stuff reminds me of kind of like the schools in Monogatari, I would say. Clearly a very expensive, opulent mansion, and I don't really know what the maid and the flowers idea is, so I'll keep an eye on that. So I guess continuing on our ideas, like, we have attendants for the geniuses, and we have maids as staff at the house, right? At the mansion. That's talking to a divide. That's talking to a divide between genius and not genius, to us and the rest. Is there going to be some kind of classist stuff in this? Is it less classist? Is it more genius versus have-nots? You know what I mean? It's less we're here because we're rich. It's more we're here because we're talented. It's one of the two, right? You got a little smirk, young lady. I don't know about that. That seems a little bit evil. I don't know. And again, walking in different directions. Separation. Different levels. Shadow underneath. I'm just spitballing. I don't know where any of this will go. Then this is a reminder that you're in a Nisio Asin based piece of media, because there is a lolly, as he is wont to do. She isn't egregious so far, I will say. And yeah, Kunagisa Tomo, the genius engineer. She calls him E-chan with 2 E's. Okay. I was looking at the times too, right? So this is pretty early. This was like 6:20 or something, right? Why is he here now? It's very early for somebody that says the day doesn't start before noon. Clearly both familiar with each other on a first name basis. She says E-chan, he says Tomo. I do like this. Her head kind of tilts for a little bit, and then, yeah. She kind of wakes up. Thought that was quite charming. Yeah, so it is early in the morning. Okay, so he woke up very, very early. Probably before everybody else, along with the staff. Interesting one too, okay. So she's into it. He's not so into it. What's the history here? That's the question, right? Yeah, just the symmetry of the backgrounds, the symmetry of everything going on, and I guess the opulence of it all versus, again, he's in like a hoodie, they're in maid uniforms, right? Everybody else is in like fancy clothes. She sounds familiar too, so please let me know some VA stuff if I'm missing that. She canonically doesn't wash too, which isn't very cool. You should wash your body, it's pretty good. As, again, he's the attendant, he does her hair for her. But yeah, I don't know much else to call her yet beyond bubbly, right? There doesn't seem to be much hidden trauma, that kind of mag yet, but maybe she's just like that in the presence of our main character here. So she's like me because this guy's going to go out and see the rest of the world, and she's just going to stay in her room on her computer. So I relate to that at least. Except for the not eating part, I couldn't do that. So that is Handa Rei, the head maid. And then we have Chiga Akari, who they're seemingly triplets who are the maids. She's the eldest triplet. I think that means there's 4 maids total too. So yeah, he says good morning. They just like kind of like nod. They don't give him much. Because again, he's a have not while the rest are haves. Okay. So okay, we have Akagami Ilya? I'm imagining it's Ilya. Who is the owner of the island, right? And there's some baggage there with the family that I'll read again here as well. But she was born and raised to be the fabled creature, the wealthy heiress. Yeah, since she's been struck from her grandfather's will, all that was in the past. When she was 16, she was banished forever from her family home. That makes her 21 now as well. But in exchange for the banishment, she was given this island. Sure, I guess the family's very rich. Okay. This is Sonoyama Akane as well. I think we talk with her later. She's got the red in her hair. Yes, okay. And yeah, here's kind of the premise of what we're doing right now, right? Because Akagami, or Ilya, whatever we're going to call her, because she's been banished, unable to leave this island, she's begun inviting people of note to come and visit. This is why we have all the geniuses in the one place. Sashirono Yayoi. Yayoi? Okay, that's the genius chef. And I think I can understand why I thought this was a boy at first. And this is Maki, who had the provocative outfit on the red bed. She's the fortune teller, correct me if I'm wrong. So Kunagisa called this guy out of the blue and took him to this island as the attendant. And then we have this guy. Okay, and what was his name again? Sakaki Shinya, who is assistant to Ibuki Kanami. Another example of what I was talking about with the 3D movement. Everybody's forgetting this guy's name too, which is something that I'm continuing to watch. Yeah, okay, alright, I'm not missing this. This is good, because this guy asked for the name, and he's, like, very cagey about it. We don't get to know names here. He's just kind of the main character. E-chan is all we get. Either way, this tracking shot keeps moving to reveal Kanami here in the foreground. Or Ibuki, whatever we're calling her. But yeah, this is contrast already as well between these two. So he is an attendant. He is an attendant. He says his name. He doesn't. So at least some level of difference in the personality between the two. So she's like mastered art. That's her like superpower genius thingo, right? Famous for having no set style at all. She just kind of does whatever. Well, and we'll talk a little bit about her conversation and how it pertains to my understanding of art a little bit later on. I guess the most notable part about her as well is that she seems to be a paraplegic. Correct me if I'm wrong. Obviously, she can move the hands, not the feet. I think that's paraplegic. And apparently Kanami had been blind a large portion of her life as well. I understand why... Okay. I understand why she needs an assistant. Why does Kunagisa need an assistant? Or were you just able to take a +1? Our main character kind of ponders what she's doing at the moment. We later find out that she's just kind of memorizing everything around her so she can draw it later. Again, she can't do it with any people around, which is big red flags already. What is your process? Will we ever get to see it? And then we're getting very metaphorical. She likes the cherry blossoms, fragile things on the brink of death, but still beautiful. That seems kind of foreboding as well. This is also very foreboding. They say cherry trees grow where human bodies are buried. I love her character design. Again, got the parasol, got the opulent clothes, the nice dress, the headband, the flowing blonde hair, I guess I would say as well, and those kind of judging eyes, almost in a kudere sense, but almost not really. Just kind of aloof, I guess I would call her. Yeah, very good design, good character designs across the board. I'm going to keep saying it though. And yeah, they've basically made the agreement now that he'll go to her room and they'll get a picture done, or whatever the hell, you know. She's going to paint him. So that's the first appointment he makes. He makes an appointment with Kanami to get his picture drawn, essentially. Alright, then we're going to... It's almost like an Avery or something, right? With this next character, whose name I'll learn here in a second. And this is where we get our time turner shit going on, too. It's all very trippy. You see it in the background constantly moving. It's one of the main elements of this location. I'd probably call it the most striking location on the island so far. Also, just logistically, it seems like all of these things need to be down for one person to get in and out. Otherwise, they would be trapped. Am I wrong? Anyway, we'll see. And now we have Sonoyama Akane, who is in here playing shogi with herself on both sides. She is clearly... she's just like the most smart. If you were to make a smart character in a show, one, you have them playing shogi. Two, you have them playing in their head without a board. Three, you have them playing against each other, or against themselves, I should say. And Genius Seven Fools. Now, Seven Fools is like the school, right, that he applied for as well. Anyway, we'll get into it. Chiga Hikari, who is the middle sister of the triplets here, is the only one that said hello to him so far. Interesting. And she runs away. She's like zooming. She does a lot of the cleaning too. Okay, she's seemingly the most active so far, and the most personable. The way we shoot this scene is very cool. So we're in a large table. He's obviously sitting next to her, but we make the table seem huge, and we shoot her in a lot of different angles to make it look like she's at every position on the table as well. Yeah, we saw it here as well. Let me show you. Like here, right? So she bows and then gone, right? Is there something supernatural going on there? Are the maids like super duper good? Or was that just a technique? It's hard to say. Either way, I think they're abandoned now. She seemingly was also in her own world playing shogi with herself or against herself. Didn't even notice that the main character had entered the room. It's also fun that she takes the role of the winner in the fight too, right? So Black abdicated, which means they gave up, they forfeited essentially, right? And she takes the role of White. I was playing as White. It's like, well, you're playing as both. You both lost and won, but you see yourself as a winner. Alright, the ER3 system, she's at the top of it, essentially. It's like super school, and it's in America. Seemingly at this ER3 facility, there's various rooms for different things. It's like a super school. And if you're at the top of the super school, then you're the super student. So yeah, Akane, she was one of the 7 fools that sit at the top of the ER3 system. Okay. If they haven't said it enough, she's fucking super smart. And if she's super smart, and then she says that Kunagisa's really, really good at what she does, then Kunagisa must be like super good with computers and tech and that kind of stuff, right? Again, engineer is really broad. Engineer can mean a lot of different things. It's seemingly they're making it like a techie type person. Called her somebody with machine-like accuracy, and from our limited exposure to Kunagisa, that doesn't seem accurate. To me, at least, right? She doesn't seem like she's this absolute robot human that does everything perfect. She's definitely got her flaws. Maybe she just switches it on. She seemingly like talks about French a lot as well. I think we bring up savant here in a second as well. And yeah, guardian and warden, both French words meaning the same thing, even though they don't mean that in Japanese essentially. But I hear that you were part of the ER program. So, our main character applied for the system, the ER3 system, that she is now at the top of, right? So, you're pretty, like I'm pretty smart, right? The main character, right? I'm nothing compared to you. There's still such a gap there. Even though I'm in like the 99th percentile, you're in the 99.9999 percentile, and you're just so much further. And that's the gap between the haves and have-nots. It doesn't seem huge to the layman, but it's huger the more you go up, you know? There's levels to it. And I don't think their main character wanted people to know that as well. It seems like there's a little bit of shame from that. Yeah, he dropped out, essentially. He dropped out of the program. Now, that's something we need to dive into as well. So, and I think the vibe I'm getting here is that she's like, well, sabbatical or not, you passed the exam, right? That's no joke. Getting in's a real achievement. But that can only come across as condescending to one of the haves saying that to the have-nots, right? You did a really good job. You just couldn't make it to my level, of course. Like, I dropped out, and results are everything. I think everything is a result. So, now you just... Okay, to me it comes across as condescending. So we've brought out the food, and now we're going to delve into the relationship with Kunagisa. I met her before I joined the program, before all of this, so about 5 years ago. And when you came back, she was a cyber terrorist. Shocking. Now, okay, what the fuck does this mean? What did you do, Kunagisa? She doesn't seem like a terrorist. Sure. Maybe she was being used or something, we'll see. And maybe he had to leave Kunagisa to go to this ER3 Academy or whatever. And he's very cagey about the relationship, but he gives us one nugget. She needs me, I know that much. but it didn't need to be me. She just needs somebody. See, who is the main character talking to right now? Why does he not want to disclose this stuff? It clearly isn't to himself. The audience is being seen as somebody in this situation. Okay. He's being cagey about it even within his own thoughts. Apparently, Kunigisa has too many flaws to live a natural life, to live a normal life. But she wouldn't call them flaws. The way she concentrates is not very balanced, right? She reminds me of some kids I know with savant syndrome. And again, as I was saying before, savant is normally associated with idiot. You'd say idiot savant, or when you say savant, it means there's a catch. So we're going to delve into that. We're calling her the blue savant, Kunigisa. Okay. Kane tries to bring up shogi. She wants to play shogi with the main character here. We're going to need a board. He can't play from memory. Let's do it this afternoon. Oh wait, sorry, I can't. I've already got an appointment with the ultimate artist. I'm going to call him the ultimate artist so many times. Genius level artist, right? It's not Danganronpa. Yeah, there's a little tongue click as he says Konami. So clearly she doesn't like Konami. Konami doesn't like her, but for different reasons we'll delve into, right? I know for a fact that she just doesn't like art in general. It's got nothing to do with Konami, right? She's fine. I don't really care about her. But art, I hate art. You should not spend time with anyone in such a base occupation. Not like me, who does shogi by myself in like a room by myself. Sure, you seem well adjusted. I mean, nobody really seems well adjusted. But you know what I mean, right? There's clearly a conflict here between art and academia. That's what they're getting at. But the difference here is, right, the academic is looking broadly, right? Art as a concept I hate. I hate it. Scum of the earth. Don't like it, right? It's not her personally, right? It's just the field that she's working in that I despise. But for the artist, it's personal. It's feeling-based, right? I just don't like her. I have respect for academia. I have respect for what she does and her talents, but just not for her as a person, her feelings, her emotions. That's a very interesting one. It's seemingly the only time she breaks down her facade as well when she's talking about this. It's the time we've seen her show genuine emotion is towards her hatred of art. Everything else is a little bit high and mighty and controlled. Again, character design-wise, very good. Like the reds, the red in the hair, the pants are killer. Again, we're keeping up this major difference between the haves and the have-nots in the wardrobe department. Now, this character here, like, jump-scared the hell out of me when she appeared on screen, right? And she's the genius fortune teller, right? She may know everything. No, she doesn't know everything, I just know what I know. You know the drill, right? Now, to me, this is an absolute Nisio Sin character, just like an absolute know-it-all who talks in riddles because they've already got everything figured out, and upon rewatch, everything will be clicking into place. Himena Maki is her name. Maki. Maki, Akane, Kanami, Kunigisa, or Tomo, whatever we want to call her. And yeah, describing her almost like a cult leader. Okay. Has genuine control over people. Like, is really, really good at what she does. Okay, watch out for her. She is dangerous. And okay, in contrast with everybody else that seems like a genuine talent, like academia, like artistry, like cooking, like engineering, this is magic, right? She's seemingly got psychic powers. Retrocognition, precognition, telepathy, right? Like, was that just blessed upon you, or did you have to work for it? And in contrast to the other wides we've seen, her wide's very shaky, very uneasy. He clearly doesn't like this situation as much as the other ones, right? It gives me uneasy, right? And then we do this rotating shot on the table as we're saying, like, your impression of everybody in the island, they're all wrong, right? Everything you're thinking right now is all wrong. And also, you are the Japanese representative for not mattering, right? And this is by somebody that essentially knows everything. That's what they're saying anyway, right? That's what they're kind of spruiking. Interesting. I believe this one's correct. Impressions of everybody, first impressions probably aren't correct. Yeah, this is another example of it, right? Just like creepy. That's what that's the vibe she's giving off, I think. And because she's telepathic, everything she said hit way too close to home. He thinks to himself, she seems creepy. And then she says, sorry for being creepy. Again, this is all pretty good evidence that she's, at the very least, a very, very good people reader. maybe even delving towards having supernatural abilities. We'll see. I don't know if the show's supernatural yet. So I have some questions about the timing here, right? Is this meeting here after the painting stuff with Konami or before? It's unclear. So the only people that he didn't see today were Tereko and Ilya. So Ilya is the person that owns the place, and Tereko was the youngest triplet who was with her, and then Yayoi is the chef, which we still have yet to meet. So let me get this straight. This guy's essentially on an island, all alone, with like 90% girls. Okay, interesting. Cool. Okay, his watch is broken, and at this time, this is very similar to the time that he walked in and saw that the Kunigisa was sleeping. Why did his watch break then? Or has time been standing still? I don't know. But there's some significance about this time. It wouldn't be stuck this way if that wasn't the case, right? And I think the very last scene we see is something to do with the watch changing as well. There was a great kind of, I don't know what you would call it, like the shot here, right? Like give her the watch and then pan here. Like they're very similar positions. So we're reflecting, again, a divide. He stays on one side, but the geniuses stay on the other. Now this here was a very enjoyable scene for me. I like her overall approach to art and criticism and that kind of thing, right? Well, I shouldn't say I like it, but I find it very interesting. So the way she works is she has like a photographic memory. She'll observe a subject for a while and then be able to draw it from memory without like relying on the subject staying put. Hence why all the mirrors, I'm going to get every angle of you, blah, blah, blah. I do like how she's leaning on the thinker as well. I think that's a pretty good bit. And there's some kind of idea here between memory and perception being one and the same, which I probably agree with. Memory is essentially what you did perceive, right? Or is it talking more temporally? Again, we'll see. So another technique we'll use in this scene a lot, if I go back, is that the mirrors in the back will change. So here, they're staticky, and then we'll use the mirror here to distort his face in the presence of her, but we never see her distorted. Konami here also equates speed, the speed of making said art, idiocy or laziness if you're slow, right? I can do it very quickly, so why doesn't everybody else do that? Like no concept that she has a special talent. And then this is the interesting part. Tell me what you think of this picture. And again, he's a layman, I think, right? He doesn't understand art very much. So he says, oh yeah, it's pretty. And I think that's the worst thing that a piece of art can be, in her opinion, right? Just merely pretty, especially to a layman. It should, you know, to somebody like that, elicit a stronger response. It clearly wasn't good enough, even though it would have been worth like $20 million, whatever she says, right? I like how much she's in control here. I like how much he seems nervous. I like the posture here, right? It's very much meek, I guess I would say. The CG on the wides is just really nice. Like I think this looks really, really good. Just kind of the objects in the foreground and giving the scene some depth. I think it's doing a lot, especially with the lighting. We don't really see much out into the distance. We're very foggy. We're very overblown with the light. You know what I mean? Like isolation's what I'm getting. It was a failed piece of artwork because you merely just thought it was pretty. Alright, let's try and pick best girl. Who's best girl gonna be? I don't think it's Kunigisa. She's like whatever. It's either you or Akane. I like you two the best. Maki's a little bit strange. That you two definitely have your own vibe going on. I do like the hairband as a design choice too. It's really popping off. And then the last line here is, if you have to choose your judges, then it's not worth being called art. It mattered that he was just anybody and not a critic. Oh, I said the last line, but there's this part too. Okay, I keep forgetting. Yeah, and this is where they explain the other side of what I was talking about before. I won't really get into it again here, but there's a clear separation between their feelings, their antagonistic feelings before each other, and who it's actually based on. Sonoyama Akane herself, I absolutely despise. I don't know what this is on her head, but sure, whatever. She was clearly tinkering with the watch and then fell asleep. And then the watch says 52:21, which isn't a time that exists, so I don't know what that's trying to say. Is it saying that more time passed than we thought did? Or is this a mistake? Either way, he clicks that watch back on and we jump into the ED. I said the ED was reminiscent of the kind of Madoka ED, kind of just a silhouette walking through a scene, but I guess I'll give the lyrics a read here as well. Overall, the episode, again, very set-up-y, but I think upon recollection, there's a lot of interesting ideas here. Definitely a setup for, again, an inciting incident, something to start, and then shit hit the fan. We're just kind of meeting everybody right now. The shape of the world I'd believed in spun around when near you. Leaning towards your right, what I've got in my hands is not a dream or nothing, but there's something somewhere throbbing in my heart. Again, this song's by Calafina, I think is how you say that. This is again why I'm getting the Madoka vibes. They're in something else. Oh, they're a cool group. I like the way they make them. It's a kind of a rock edge to the normal J-pop you'll get. Definitely epic sounding is what I would say. If the one that you love agrees to put his arms around you, then what was a nebulous hope shatters everything that you kept stable. Sure. I guess we're just kind of getting shots of the mansion as well in the background here. And again, this is like a multiple novel series. I wonder how does the location differ? Do the characters differ? Is it based on what happens in the first novel? I don't know. We'd once been hollow, trapped inside that little box. But now we've seen outside that box and have no idea where we are. Kind of an element of the unknown there, and stepping outside of it. Is the box also maybe like the mansion? No idea where we are? Again, so grasping at straws, I guess. And she just says that's all, and then I think the flute just plays a little bit of a solo here. After images of our bliss, glimpses of the future. A glance at something fragile, those times that we can still laugh together. And yeah, that's where we'll end. Again, focusing on this tree with the sakura petals. Okay, cool. Weird one. So I'd been intermittently doing notes here, right? I don't know if I talked about this stuff, but non-chronological story, what's happening there, and then kind of the Akane, Kaname kind of dichotomy there, I guess you would say, as well as the cast, right? Main character, Ichan is what he gets called, but again, we don't know an actual name, or at least I didn't see it. And then Kunagi Satomo, Handare, Chiga Akari, Hikari, and Terako, the three maid sisters. Handare seems up to some mischief too, we'll say. Akagami Ilya, the owner of the island mansion, some baggage with the family, and then just, again, I've got some short notes about what they look like, just so I'm reminded. Sashirono Yaoi, the genius chef. Sakaki Shinya, attendant to Ibuki Kanami, genius artist. Sonoyama Akane, genius of the Seven Fools, which is the academia. And then Himena Maki, which is the genius fortune teller. Okay, I think that's everybody. So far, anyway. So yeah, I think I'm going to keep this page up and just keep writing stuff. It'll help me with remembering things that I know I'll forget over the course of a week. But yeah, I've said it a number of times. All in all, good. It was very good, actually. The production side of it was probably the most impressive part so far. And upon recollection, upon rewatching the episode, a lot of the story stuff came together a little bit better, which is good, because it kind of breezes past you a little bit, especially when you're trying to take everything in on a first viewing. I'm just waiting, again, inciting incident. I'm waiting for that first shooter drop, I guess. I don't know how, I don't know what's going to happen, but something will happen because it's a story, essentially, right? I don't know how long these episodes are going to get either. They kind of have free reign to do whatever they want. And again, we're going to watch the opening if that changes at all. You know what I mean? But either way, yeah, 2 thumbs up. Good. I enjoyed it. Which is good. So again, these episodes will be out weekly. I'll try to do 2 episodes when I can. This kind of Wednesday, Thursday when I record here is seemingly a good day for it. So we'll see. It seems like I have a good amount of time here right now. Again, my roster's a little bit all over the place at work, so it's hard to record. But yeah, I think we'll just leave it here, and I'll just jump into my shill stuff. So if you like the video, consider liking the video. If you like the video and you want to see more, consider subscribing to the channel. Comment below anything you thought about the episode, anything I could do to improve my presentation, comment below. I'm doing follow for follow on Twitter, so follow me on Twitter if you would like me to follow you back. And the Discord, join the Discord, love the Discord. And yeah, I'll catch you next week for more Kubikiri Cycle / Zaragoto / whatever we want to call it, right? Either way, I'll catch you next week. Later.